thing conceals nice too. That's what I want, a concealable red dot gun, and I've got one. Hey, I've got a Glock 43X MOS, and if you're like me, the very first question is, what optic am I going to put on this gun? Because that's the reason I got the MOS, is that I could carry it and carry it with an optic. So I want to show you the very best method for finding out exactly which optic you should put on your Glock 43X MOS. Stay tuned.
How can I help you?
Sales, please.
One moment. Optic Incorporated, this is Deanna. How may I help you?
Hey Deanna, my name's Anthony. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Hey, I have a Glock 43X MOS, and I was just wanting to call and find out what optic, I'm trying to choose the best optic for it, but what optic was it specifically designed and cut for? Do you know?
Yes. So the 43X MOS, that one was cut for a shield optic.
Okay.
Let's see which one it was. I believe it was the RMSC. Let me check on that real fast, so I don't want to tell you the wrong information.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so it was the RMSC. That was the 43X MOS.
Okay, by shield sights?
Yes. You don't need a adapter plate for that because we never made the adapter plates for those.
Okay.
That one just mounts right to the pistol.
Directly to it, so it's cut for it. You take the cover plate off and mount the optic directly to it.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, God bless you. Take care.
Thank you, you as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, and there you have it. There's the very best tried and true way to find out what optic you should mount on your Glock 43X MOS. And you say, well, why is that? Well, if Glock designed and cut the 43X MOS for the Shield RMSC, obviously Glock knows what they're doing, and they know why they did that. And that's what I want to share with you in this video. There are other ones that'll fit the footprint of the Glock 43X MOS, but obviously if Glock went through the time, trouble, and expertise over the years to actually cut it for the Shield RMSC, that's the optic you should put on the gun. And so don't take my word for it. Watch the rest of this video, and I'm going to show you specifically why I chose the Shield RMSC to go on my Glock 43X MOS. All right, here we are on the bench, and I've got the Glock 43X MOS, and it is visually and physically, as you can see, clear. And whenever you're working on a firearm, you always want to make sure, obviously, it is clear and in a safe condition, no ammunition. All right, so we're going to mount the Shield RMSC, and I just want to go over a couple of the points of why I chose this sight versus other sights like maybe the HoloSun 507K or the 407K or the new HoloSun's new HoloSun sights coming out. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then the other various sights out there also. The obvious one, the Trigicon RMRCC, it doesn't fit the footprint. And so here's my overall problem and dilemma with the various sights on the market and why I chose the RMSC. First of all, you know that Glock cut the pistol for it, so that says a lot. And it's a direct fit, as you'll see. It drops right in, and it also co-witnesses with your regular iron sights. So if I go out and even get a sale on a HoloSun, or any of the other ones, or if I buy the most expensive Trigicon, I'm in it for another $100 for suppressor height sights, and I'm in it for another 40 to 50 to 60 bucks depending on the plate I need to actually direct mount the sight to it. Well, you say there's the Sentinel sights, and there are the Riton sights, and then there's the Holosun sights, and there are some direct fit ones that fit to it. Well, what's my other problem? Well, my major problem is that right there. That's the problem I have. Especially as a 2A company, and if you know anything about politics around the globe, I have an issue with that. And I don't want to support the CCP in any way. So, why do I also like this other than it's direct fit and I don't have to spend a bunch of extra money after I've already spent hard-earned money on the sight itself? Well, that's why. Made in the UK. And it's not made in America, but it's made in the UK. It's not supporting the CCP. So whether you like that or not, or whether you even looked into that or not, and I suggest if you don't know what the CCP does to its people, and if you don't even know what the CCP is, you can Google that and find out for yourself. I'll step off the soapbox now and get into the install. So it is a direct fit, no plate, and no suppressor height sights. I love that about it. And that's the way it ought to be. It should be plug and play. You shouldn't have to go and get a bunch of aftermarket stuff to put a sight on a gun that is made for a sight. And that's what Glock did with the RMSC. And so that's the sight that I'm going to use because it's no fuss, no muss. Sorry for all the other 2A companies out there. You know what? I like Holosun sights. They have some great features. They have Shake Awake. They have solar, which I really, really like about the Holosun sights, but I'm not going to support my enemy and the people that want to destroy me. I'm not going to support them. I love Chinese people. Do not get me wrong. I love them. But as far as the Chinese Communist Party goes, I'm not going to be a supporter of that in any way, shape, or form. All right, so you can see this is the footprint that we're dealing with here. And just to show you real quick, you try to drop the Holosun in there, and it doesn't drop on, it doesn't fit right. It's raised up in the back, so it needs a plate. So while it's a very nice sight, I'm not going to do that for many reasons, as I told you. And you look at the Shield RMSC, it's direct fit, drops right in there, beautifully machined to go on that, and it's a very low profile sight. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the battery in there and install this thing. And they label the battery, so that label out pops right in there. The battery fits nice, and that drops right onto the slide. And then you have, oh, I can't get that to sit up by itself. It's a little too slippery. So I'm gonna lay that down. In the box, you have the wrenches that you need for windage and elevation adjustments. We'll talk about that later. We get out on the range with this sight, and then you have the wrench you need to actually install it. And the wrench I had just used previously, that was the one that came with the Glock. And what Glock, the instruction card says for their modular optic system slimline pistols, it says right here that you need to use an 8mm screw, flathead screw, to install it. And what the RMSC comes with is 8mm and 10mm. Show you the difference here. And you don't want the longer one because it can get in the way of your extractor. And we'll test that, and I'll show you how to test that. And I'm not so sure. I may not have to file down one of these. We'll see. I shouldn't have to, but we'll see if we have to. Hopefully we don't. All right, so I'm going to use a little bit of 680 Loctite, just a tiny dab. I don't ever use too much Loctite because I want my stuff to come apart when I want it to come apart. And Loctite is very good stuff. So put a little bit of that on there, and I'm going to run that screw down in there with the wrench. And I'm just going to snug it up. I'm not going to crank on it. And I'm going to run the other one down in there. Snug it up. And then I'm going to check the extractor function before I crank down on them. And so what the guy at Glock told me in the technical support when I called is this extractor should be able to pull out and snap right back in. And it does. And you see that? That way it'll eject shells. You see that? I was just using a little ice pick hook tool I have. But that's how you test it. And apparently if that screw's too long, it will not allow that extractor to move back and forth properly like that. So that looks like it's working right. As expected. I'm going to now tighten these down. And you can feel when they're tight, snug. There might be a torque value on it, but I'm not going to do that. So I don't have a torque wrench that I can do that with. All right. That dot looks pretty well co-witness to my iron sights right there on there. Let me see if I can get this to show up in the camera right here on the bench. It would be great if I can. Whoa, shaky camera. There it goes. If you can see that. Looks pretty good out of the box. We'll see how it does on the range. There you go. So that's the install of the Shield Reflex Mini Sight Compact. One thing I will say, the RMSC, that gun was unloaded by the way. I'm not just gonna throw a loaded chambered Glock up in the air like that, but it's holding zero, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna slam it up against a brick wall or anything like that, but racking it on your pants, dropping it in the dirt, in the mud, I think, you know, everyday self-defense life, that's what it's designed for. It stays on zero very well. So I'm happy with it so far. And that thing is low profile. Like it. This thing conceals nice too. That's what I want, a concealable red dot gun, and I've got one. So these are some of the first rounds, no I'm sorry, these are not some, these are the very first rounds I've shot out of the Glock 43X MOS and with the Shield RMSC. One thing I forgot to mention, I'll show you there, it comes with a rubber dust cover. It's kind of cool. I don't see that I'd actually be using it, maybe for long-term storage in the safe or something like that, or traveling I might put it on. But other than that, you know, it would just stay in the case or in the pocket. not going to put it in my pocket with my extra mag, but so far I really like the RMSC and I like the Glock 43X MOS. So the RMSC, some of the things I forgot to mention on the bench is it is a no frills. You know, if you watch any of my videos, I'm all about simplicity. Simplicity is bliss, they say. And if you'll notice, this has automatic brightness control. And so far, so good. I haven't tried it in low light. I will try it in low light settings, but if it's low enough ambient light where I can't see the dot for whatever reason, if it turns it down too much, we'll see. I will be able to see my regular stock sights, and if I can't see the stock sights, then I'm just not shooting anything because it's pitch black. So, but so far so good. I really like the clean mount of it. It still has enough face on it to where you can rack the slide off your pants or your belt, but it's a very low profile. Doesn't get in the way carrying it, doesn't add any extra bulk with the holster. I mean, it just disappears, and that dot is right on time. I've dropped it and gotten dirt on it, but hit it right up against stuff. We'll see. It still seems like it can take a licking and keep on ticking. Let's try it out. I don't really train, self-admittedly, I don't train long-range pistol. Well, yeah, just because I don't train long-range pistol, I don't foresee necessarily the need for long-range defensive pistol, but I do shoot some longer ranges. So anyway, we're going to try with the red dot because I have the red dot. We'll try 30 yards and see how that goes, and maybe we'll go a little farther if I can hit 30 yards. I don't know if I can with Glock 19X MOS, or 19X, not a 19X, it's a 43X MOS. 19 I can hit 30 yards, no problem. That should be 2 with the 43X, so should be no problem. All right, so this is 30 yards. Let's put one on me, and we'll put one on the target. All cameras set. Hopefully you can see that. This is 30 yards, Glock 43 MOS with the Shield RMSC red dot. All right, so you can see I hit it a handful of times. I have an astigmatism, I'm not making an excuse, but it washes out that dot, especially far away. So that dot is, man, 50% of the target at 30 yards for me. It's not crisp and clean. If I wore my glasses, probably do a whole lot better. So I'm not getting a good center on that. But 30 yards, definitely doable. We'll try 50 just for the heck of it. All right, Glock 43X MOS, 50 yards. See what happens. First try, the Lord blesses me. That's not going to happen again. Okay, I lied. It's going to happen again. And a third time. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to quit right there. So that's 3 at 50 yards, Glock 43X MOS. First time shooting the gun, I promise, and first time shooting the red dot. So the red dot really helps at range. I like that. So testimony to the Shield RMSC long range, it definitely helps. Man, I like that, but I'm not going to try it again because I want to end on a good note. Hey, thanks for watching this video. As always, God bless you and yours.